to record this. But I just wanted to start, what is today? December 11th, and Transform 20 has officially launched. It has been an amazing launch. So many of you guys are on the board. In a month, it's like hard to get on the board early. So super proud of you guys. I just pulled up the Success Club board. Again, I posted this in our team page this morning, and I actually ran the report yesterday, and you guys were like, oh no, I have more points than that. So you guys are like rocking it this month. Ashley Shane is 20 points, Sarah England 14. Both Ashley and Sarah were in the test group, and I think it just goes to show you the power of being that product of the product, sharing your journey. And so this is why I'm really encouraging you guys, like, this is the program that everyone's watching right now. It's the one that everyone's talking about. So even if this may not be like 100% like your program, there is power in doing this program. So Ashley at SC20, Sarah England at SC14, Corinne Conrad at SC8, Genevieve Jenna is at 4, Stephanie Kuiper's at 4, Megan. I mean, this list, you guys, go look on our board. There are so many of you on the board. I think Stephanie Pollard said, even since this board, she was at SC2 and now she's at SC6. Melissa Bono, SC2, and she was like, I've got cards out. Amy Haas saying I should be there at 2. I mean, there's just a whole list of you guys. It's incredible how many of you are on this board, and you should be super, super proud. And then, speaking of Transform 20, so the free workout came out today. I just want to make sure that you guys all know how to access that and how to get your customers access to that. So that workout, for all of you guys, you all have, so if you sign into your Beachbody On Demand account and you click on Transform 20, the free workout, you will see it. You can either click the banner, which will have like a little play thing. And that's where you're gonna wanna tell any customer who even doesn't have Beachbody On Demand, like even if they don't pay for Beachbody On Demand, they can go, they can create just a free account and they can click it. Sarah, Transform 20 isn't showing. That's weird, and you should contact customer service. Because Transform 20 should be. And you should even be able to, I don't know if I have my Beachbody On Demand up on my screen right now. Sorry, David just like got me another screen, and so everything's kind of all over the place. But yeah, you should see Transform 20, or like if you click programs, it should say like coming soon, Transform 20. Like everyone should be able to see it, even customers who don't have Beachbody On Demand. So for customers who don't have Beachbody On Demand, they can go to beachbodyondemand.com. They can create just a free account on Beachbody and then click Transform 20 in there. And the confusing part is you just want to make sure that they know like that header has a play button on it. There's also, and I posted it in the team page, a Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, a Vimeo like video. So it's just like a YouTube video, but it doesn't come up with all the stuff on the side. So it's just a video link. And if you guys are like, okay, I don't want to get people confused with Beachbody On Demand and all of that, you can literally send them that direct link. And that direct link, they just click play, just like they would a YouTube video. And then if they like it, they can come back to you and say, yes, I want to do this. I don't know how many of you guys did the preview workout today. If you haven't done it, make sure you do it. Record it. Make a bunch of videos with it. Again, be that prior to the product. Get people excited for it. You don't even need a step. There's a modifier in there that you can follow. Sean T, I thought, did an amazing job talking about different aspects of the program. So talking about how it's 6 weeks. Talking about, hey, if you love weights, you can use weights. There's a calendar with the weights. Talking about how, this step may be a little confusing day 1, 2, 3, and 4, but it gets easier, right? And so I think he does a really good job of helping get our customers set up for expectations in this program. So that is how you can access the videos. Again, if you just there's the Vimeo link, or send them to Beachbody On Demand, and the header for Transform 20, once they enter there, they should be able to access it. For those of you who have paid to unlock it, or your customers have paid to unlock it, you should be able to access the 2 other workouts. So the workout at the top, the free preview, is a full 20-minute workout. The other 2 are just a 10-minute workout and a 15-minute workout. So you'll see those unlocked in your on demand when you click on Transform 20, and your customers should be able to see those. And those are part of the hybrid calendar. So I think today was like Transform 20 or Transform 10 and one other one. But make sure, I mean, we can just message that link to anyone. So if you have someone like, hey, drop an emoji below if you're interested, you literally can just message them the link. If you use Google Streak or something like that, where you're collecting email addresses, get people's emails. And then now you have emails to follow up with them in January or end of December when they're ready to purchase. So again, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys all the tools that you need for Transform 20 for you to get people interested and excited. Do you guys have questions kind of before we start this team call about Transform 20 or accessing the workouts? One thing I think I might like to do, I'll post on our team page about it, is do like a live team workout for Transform 20, and we can pass it on to our customers. And it'd be really fun, right, to like have a whole screen full of people working out together. It could also help drive some excitement for the program. But anyway, do you guys have questions about Transform 20? Or the workouts? Okay. And the workout, so they will eventually take the one down in front of the firewall, like the completely free one. Someone asked me about like how long it would be available to people, but it should be available like through the launch in January. It'll probably stay up through February, because February is when everything's like staying. We're gonna still continue to get like the $20 off. So I don't think we have to worry about that really going anywhere at this point.
Hey, Holly, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I know they have like the month of December, but do they actually have till January 14th to purchase, or is it just the month of December?
I mean, they have forever. They have until April to purchase.
Okay. Well, I mean, like it releases January 14th, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's when you're going to do your group, right?
Right. So yes, okay. Exactly. So the test group and my group kick off on January 7th with the prep week. To get into the test group, they have to sign up as a discount coach, and they have to purchase by that January 14th date. And okay. Kind of same thing for my group, but I'm going to be running a group every 2 weeks. So if they don't get in the one that starts January 7th, they can get in the one that starts on like January 21st.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I was trying to verify.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? And hopefully I'll get that January calendar posted for you guys as well. But pretty much in terms of challenge groups, January 7th preseason, January 14th kickoff, January 21st preseason, January 28th kickoff. They'll both be Transform 20 groups for sure. Let me mute everyone. Okay, and then you guys can unmute yourself as you have questions. Catalina, did you start a new coach thread? So there's one for November, but I haven't started. I mean, December will start in January. So if she wants to be in the November one, we could add her to that one. Yeah.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry, with the steps, I know I saw one thing from Beachbody, like when it first released like a week ago, that 20% of the steps had been sold. Do you know how many steps they like kind of have left, or how many have been sold? Because you said they might run out, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but they'll run out before January 14th. I do know that.
Yeah.
So it's good that they didn't run out in the first big like launch, because I think that was their concern. Now it's going to be the after Christmas, New Year's rush. So I'm thinking if people get their order in before Christmas, they'll be okay. It's going to be after Christmas. Like my biggest day of the year is probably like December 27th. Like that's just such a huge time. So I think if you have people who want to purchase the step, I'd really encourage them to get in that order before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, because those days after Christmas are just going to be crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, and Catalina, just message me to remind me to add. I'll add you and then you can add her.
Holly, this is totally random, but I know you do your step on a mat, but my step slides all over the place. Is there do you have a suggestion for that?
Do you have the core comfort mat, the Beachbody like black or like the 80-day obsession mat?
Yeah.
Put it on that.
Okay.
Yeah, or a yoga mat. Put it on a yoga mat because that's real. Yoga mats don't slide.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, because if you're on like Tyler hardwood, it's gonna slide. Yeah.
Holly, I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so I waited to buy the Transform 20 just because I don't know. I knew the first few days like that the site would be crazy, and then I kind of just had a really bad few days and I didn't know if I was going to do it. But anyways, I do want to buy it, but I had a question. My BOD subscription is coming up for a renewal in a few days. Is there like a way to, instead of just the $99 subscription renewal, like, can you just tell them to like upgrade that to a full challenge pack or something, some way to save money? Like,
yeah, you can if you sign into the Coach online office,
yep,
or just your account, just sign into Beachbody on Demand, go to my account, and there you can manage your subscriptions. And in Manage My Subscriptions, you can do cancel Beachbody on Demand immediately. And from there you can, because coaches can now purchase challenge packs. So you can purchase a challenge pack. So you can either purchase a completion package. No, you can't purchase a completion package. You would want to purchase the one, you'd want to cancel your shake. The best deal is cancel your Shakeology and your bod and pay $160. And then you get your bod and your Shakeology for the month for $160.
For the oh my gosh, Transform 20 challenge pack though?
Yeah, if you get the step with it, it's $195, but without the step, it's $160.
Right. Well,
yeah, even with the step, $195 is less. It's the same price you'd pay for your $100 of Shakeology and your $99 on demand.
Right. Yeah.
And you get Shanti Unlocked, which is $50, and you get your step, which is another $50.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I was pretty sure there was a way of doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just go to your account, manage subscriptions, you should be able to click in there and click cancel subscription immediately. And if that doesn't work, then just contact customer service and tell them to cancel it. And then you'll be able to go in and buy the challenge pack.
Okay. So cancel everything and challenge pack. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that won't, I know some people get concerned that that's going to like mess up your Success Club or whatever, but as long as you cancel your Shakeology and still order within the same month on
right.
You're fine. It won't mess it up. Yep. All right. So sorry, I'm trying to see if Moira has hopped on. Once Moira hops on, we will get started. Any other questions? Transform 20, anything? No?
I have a couple, Holly.
Yes.
Like I'm always the girl with questions, but so last time we talked, I mentioned one of my coaches went inactive. I had spoken to her and she canceled her Shakeology orders. And I had mentioned other products and stuff. Anyway, but I know in the past you told me I could actually put customers under my coaches to keep them active, correct? Would that make her active again?
That would make her active, yes.
Okay, because like right now, if she was active, I'd have all 8 coaches on my link. So I'm like, oh my gosh, why did you go inactive? But,
yes.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. If I should just like kind of replace her or like get a customer under her or something. But okay. And then also the hydrate. So I've been looking into order that. I'm assuming that is fine pregnant, right?
Yeah, that hydrate should be fine pregnant. I'm in the like Beachbody Bumps group, like coaches only support group. And hydrate should be fine. And it's awesome with breastfeeding.
Okay, because I know they have the little pack, so I thought about trying those first.
Yeah.
But like, there's no like caffeine or anything, like you can drink it anytime.
Yeah. No, there's no caffeine or anything. It's just like Gatorade, but all natural hydration.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So I think I saw Moira. Yay. Hello. All right, guys. So let me introduce, for those of you who do not know Moira, she has only been coaching for 3.5 years, which is pretty crazy when you hear all that she has done. So Moira is also leading a Superstar Diamond team. She is a top 10 coach. This last year, we were lucky enough to go to France together, and she's currently number 13 in the company, about to be a 2-time top 10 coach. And here's the thing that I love about Moira and how she has built this business. I mean, she has every other accolade as well, Success Club, a legend, and all of those. But Moira is one of those coaches who got to top 10, about to do top 10 again, because she develops leaders and because she pours into people. She is not a coach who is hitting Success Club 1,000. She is a coach who literally is messaging people, getting to know them, helping them on their health and fitness journey, turning them into incredible coaches. I mean, she has several elite leaders personally sponsored and then in her downline as well. And it's just a true testament to the leader that she is. And last year we met for the first time at January Super Saturday. And it was just like this moment of like, oh my gosh, she's just such a genuine person. And I think that's why her business has done so well, because you just feel it. So I am super excited to have her on the call tonight. She's going to kind of tell us her story and how in 3.5 years she, has built this kind of this 2-time top 10 team, by caring about people and pouring into them. So I am done talking, and Moira, it is all yours. We can't wait. Oh, hold on. You might be muted.
There you go. Well, thanks, guys. It is such an honor to talk to you guys. And I see Ashley in the little window. It's so good to see familiar faces. I still get nervous on calls, like whenever I speak to other teams. And you guys, I just want you to know, like, you are so blessed to have the leader that you have on your team and your teams. And, I just adore Holly. And I felt the same way, like when I met her at Super Saturday, like we still get really insecure as top 10 coaches. And I was like, somebody told me they're like, Holly Hillier's going to be there. And I was like, what? I don't know this girl. Like, I was like, just felt so inferior. And then I met Holly and I was like, oh my God, we just like connected just like that. And I just felt like I met my long lost best friend. So I adore her. I adore the way she leads and coaches and just runs this business. And the cool thing is we get to really learn a lot from each other, because we do it kind of differently. But at the same time, we kind of have the same motor, which is just like balls to the wall. Pardon my language, but that's what it is. So what I want to tell you guys, and I do have to hop on a call at 9:15, but I'm going to just kind of tell you my story because I think there's so many teachable moments in it. So I came into this, I had a background I owned a Pilates studio for 15 years. And kind of hit the wall with that. I was just burned out on it. And I was a new mom. And I was like, am I really just going to teach Pilates for the rest of my life? Like I always, even this day and age, I have friends that are like, I'm going to open up a studio. And I'm like, have fun with that. Like, it's not all it's cracked up to be. You got to pay rent. You got to pay insurance. You got to employ people, like the whole 9 yards. Like, it's really not the dream that everyone thinks it is. Even though mine was very, very successful, it was still just a major headache and, just a monkey on my back 24/7 for 15 years. And even though it was, I decided to sell that business and open up a juice company, a cold pressed juice company, because I was really like at that kind of, I hate to say like rock bottom that I think every mom gets to when you're like, is this my life? You know, I'm just like changing diapers and folding laundry. And it just was so, I hate to say, like, I love my babies, but I just felt like so purposeless. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I was worth so much more. And I just was yearning. And like for 2 or 3 years, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Because here was the conundrum. When I wanted to go back and study nutrition and like do all these things, my husband and I would sit down and he was like, okay, so you're going to quit working and we're going to lose your income. You're going to go back to school, which will probably take you like 8 years to finish because you can't go full time. And we're going to have to pay for your education. And in 8 years, you're going to make less than you're making as a Pilates instructor. That doesn't add up. And I felt so desperate and so stuck. All I wanted, and I would just sit here every day and I'm like, how can I make $500 a week doing something that I'm passionate about, that's making a difference, that I can still make my own schedule? Because I had been able to make my own schedule, you know, my whole life, because I'd always worked for myself, even though when you work for yourself, you also work a lot. And so I didn't know what to do. And I started this juice company. It was like a dream, and it was a different level of business. We took out over 6 figures in loans from the bank, so over $100,000, because that's what a small business costs to start up. If you're going to do it right, and you're going to, you know, the website alone cost like 60 grand. The juice machine was 25,000. Like, the expenditures that go into starting a small business are significant. And the business did awesome. It kicked butt like right out of the gate. But even though we were like selling 30,000 bottles of juice a month, we were breaking even. And I was working with 2 little kids at home, like 60 to 70 hours a week. My stress level was insane because I had lots of employees, lots of overhead. You know, 30,000 bottles of juice was our break even point, and I wasn't making a penny. And so I did that for 2.5 years, and I just completely ran myself into the ground. I ran my marriage into the ground, and I was my unhealthiest, ironically, running a juice business that I had ever been. And along this whole juice company timeline, I was out in California actually doing a training for it, and I just randomly met a girl, and she was a coach. And we connected totally separately. And she's like, oh my gosh, I run these online boot camps. You should do it. And I was like, sign me up. Because the other part of my backstory is, even though I was always in health and wellness, I had an eating disorder in college, and I just struggled my whole adult life. I didn't, I had gotten over I always say I went from an eating disorder clinically to disordered eating for my whole adult life. You know, binge eating, overeating, restricting, exercising all the time. And I was stuck in the cycle that I literally saw every single woman that I taught Pilates to was in. It was what was normal, and it is still what's normal out there, which is really sad. And so I tried every single eating plan, exercise program, boot camp, new fitness phase that came to town. I did everything. I ran half marathons, like everything. And so when she said you should sign up for my boot camp, I was like, sign me up, because I always tried everything. And what I found was basically my life raft. You know, my life and my business was just killing me. And this random group of women that were, most of them 3,000 miles away from me, were like my saving grace. Now, I will also tell you, for that whole year, I was her challenger. I was like the epitome of the worst challenger. I got in the group every single day. I never posted once. I would reach out to her every month or two, like, I can't stop overeating. I just like, I'm so like just falling apart. I was like a hot mess express. And she would just encourage me to get in the group. And then, you know, and she would plant seeds about coaching. And I would look at her like she had 10 heads. Like, first of all, do you understand what's going on in my life? Second of all, I am a catastrophe. What are you thinking I could be a coach? Like, what planet do you live on? Like, I honestly thought she'd lost her mind. And every few months, 6 months, she would bring up coaching. And then finally it got to a point, I reached out to her again, and just drowning in my own dysfunction. And she said, listen to me. This is my story, and I know it's going to be yours. She said, I would always let myself down, and I would always not show up for myself, but I will always show up for other people. And if you become a coach and you have to show up for others, Moira, you'll show up every day and you won't fail. And I thought she was insane, but I also understood what she was saying because I knew that was true. I knew it was true. I had proved to myself for 20 years that I would sabotage my own self. But if I had to show up for you, come hell or high water, I would be there. And so I signed up to become a coach, literally, not because I wanted to be a coach like her. She was a top coach, and I was like super busy working 60 to 70 hours a week. So I was like, what you're doing looks really unattractive to me. I have no desire to be posting on social media. I have no desire to be working a business like you are. Like, I just need to go get a massage and take a freaking break. And so I signed up literally to save myself. And I called two of my best friends that knew, like, had kind of said here or there, like, hey, what are those workouts you're doing? Like, I think I might want to do them at some point. And so I called them and I said, you guys, I am really struggling. Will you do this with me? I wasn't trying to get Success Club points. I didn't know what Success Club points were. I just said, you guys, will you do this with me? We can commit to each other. It's 30-minute workouts. Let's read this book that my coach has been telling me to read for a year. And there's a nutrition plan. And they said, okay. And that 30 days was the first 30 days that I stayed the course. And the magic, and if I hadn't asked those girls, the magic would never have happened. Because even though my life changed, it's so hard to see our own lives through our own eyes. But what happened was those girls came to me with just tears literally rolling down their faces of how much their lives had changed, how much their marriages had changed, how they were showing up completely different to their children. And that's when I came home, I remember thinking, that's what I've been looking for this whole entire time, to be able to make that kind of an impact in someone's life. Now, that was in April. I didn't start coaching until July, because I was racked with ego because I could not be a Beachbody coach. That was cheesy. And I was racked with fear of how people were going to judge me and what they were going to say about me. And I had a reputation and all this jazz. And those April to July, I was like really just mesmerized by Melanie Mitro and Lindsay Matway and Bonnie Engel. And I was like, what is this whole coaching thing? So I was stalking them all on YouTube. Like, I was listening to every YouTube video I could get my hands on to basically prove that they got in at the right time. They had some background that I didn't have. They looked like Fitness Barbie and I didn't. You know, I was trying to find legitimate proof of why this wasn't going to work for me. And every single time I listened to them, they proved me wrong. And I fell in love with the mission of this company. I fell in love with the work that we get to do. And I wanted what those girls had. And in July, I remember sitting in this chair thinking vividly to myself, I'm either going to sit here wrapped up in fear and insecurity the rest of my life. And all I could think about was what my neighbor 2 doors down was going to think of me. Like, this one random person. I was like, what's she going to say about me? And what are they going to be talking about at the bus stop? And like, just so small world, small vision, small minded bullshit. And I was like, I can be that girl, or I can be Amy Silverman, who is impacting and changing thousands of people's lives, literally writing the script of her life, you know, financial freedom, traveling all over the world, designing her life. I can take a chance at that, or I can just sit here forever. And I knew I didn't want to be that girl that didn't take the chance. So when I took the chance, I went balls to the wall, because I also was going to prove to those people that were going to talk about me behind my back watch me do it differently, and watch me not be a cheesy Beachbody coach, and watch me rise. And that's what I did. And I went about it, you know, as I'm sure Holly coaches you guys, like, you're not cheesy Beachbody coaches with like hashtag Shakeology. You know, we do it differently. And it's such a powerful thing to be a part of, to change the face of social media. You know, people come to me and they're like, oh, social media. I'm like, really? Because God, my social media inspires the heck out of me and like brings me to tears every single day. You gotta get some new people in your social media feed. Like, social media can be the most powerful tool. It can be the most powerful negative tool as well. But to be a force in the world, that is something I want to be a part of. And you guys, I was terrible at first, you know, terrible. I remember like all I could do as a new coach was post a quote. That was it. Like, and a cheesy, fuzzy quote for that much. And I just, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I had never taken a selfie in my life. You guys, I didn't have Instagram, and I had 300 friends on Facebook. I just thought about this the other day because I've just really, really built my Instagram this year. And I was like, wait a second. I finished number 5 last year. I had 4,000 followers on Instagram. I am proud of that. I am damn proud of that. I hadn't done one bit of business on Instagram to end number 5. I hadn't signed one person up from Instagram. It was all Facebook. It was all my personal page because I didn't get on the business page train at the right time. And so what I did, you guys, I will tell you, like, I had hit Success Club those first few months from April to July with like literally just signing up those couple of friends. I hadn't gotten on a team call. I didn't know what Success Club was. I didn't know what Success Starters was. It was that organic. Like, it was just like, I that girl that came to me with tears rolling down her face, I wanted to give that gift to somebody else. I wanted to just call another friend and go, oh my God, you got to do this with us. Like, holy crap. You know, like I just had that heart to give people the gift that this is, because I had been in bondage for 20 years with screwed up eating, screwed up exercise. And I found a solution, a nutrition plan that worked, personal development that completely reshaped me as a human. And I was working out 30 minutes a day. Like, I got my life back. I just wanted every mama in the world to have it. And so those first few months where I was like a toe in, closet Beachbody coach, no one was going to know what I was doing. It was totally on the down low. In July, a couple of things. It's like the perfect storm. I went to my first Super Saturday. Like, totally, like, can't wait to see how cheesy this is. You know, like, I walked in there with all my judgment, all my skepticism. And it was Team Cup month. And they were talking about Team Cup. They had the winner from the previous Team Cup from Canada, of course. And she was like on the video trailer from corporate. And at that time, I was just starting to like dream big. Like, maybe I can be one of those top coaches. Maybe I can be one of those 6-figure earners. And when she talked about what she had done to win Team Cup, and I would have thought she was lying through her teeth. That's how skeptical and like not kind of nice of a person I don't want to say I wasn't nice, but I just was not trustworthy. PD has changed me a lot. I would not have believed her, but they had a picture of her back office, and I was like, oh my God, that's proof. Like, I don't think they edited the back office, and like, I don't think they, rigged that. She'd hit Success Club 140 something. And I remember sitting in that chair, and this was the question I asked myself. I'll never forget it because, and Tony Robbins always says, ask yourself better questions and you will get better answers. And I said to myself, because let me rewind. What I was thinking was I want to be a 6-figure earner. And I knew 3 people a month probably wasn't going to turn me into a 6-figure earner. And then I was like sitting there like, what the hell? How is this girl hit 140 Success Club points? That's insane. But I also realized she was probably one of those 6 to 7-figure earners. And in that moment, I asked myself, Moira, if someone said to you at the end of August, here is $1 million cash, could you go out and find 70 people and get them on board this thing you believe so wholeheartedly in? Surrounded, living in the United States with just hundreds of thousands of people that are obese. And not to mention, I never really deal with that population even. I deal with all the screwed up people that look like me that, you know, have disordered eating. And so that's what I remember asking myself. If someone gave me $1 million at the end of this month, could I do it? It was like just this like test. And I instantly knew I could. I instantly knew if the reason was big enough, if the reward was big enough, I could do it. And if you are at Success Club 2 or 4 or 6 and you have big dreams, you don't understand the reality and the power of this business. And you have to build your belief. And if you have to listen to videos and just get inspired, I understood what it was going to take. And I somehow believed that I could do it just because we have an amazing program and product and community, and people freaking need it. People need it. It changes lives. It saves lives. And so I went all in. But here's the thing, you guys. When I say I went all in, people are like, what'd you do? I filled out the business activity tracker. And when I started hitting Success Club 40, and that first month I went from SC6 to SC40, and then I consistently hit between like 30 and 50 every month. I remember even my coach was like, can you get on the team call and tell everybody how you hit Success Club 40? And I felt like guilty. I felt like a fraud. I was like, but I just did what you told me to do. What do you want me to tell them? Like, am I supposed to lie? She's like, no, just tell them what you did. I'm like, but I just did what you told me to do. I'm confused. And I tell my coaches that all the time. Like, I mean, it is infuriating. I'll tell you that. Holly probably pulls her freaking hair out. Last night I was on a call with, like, I always tell my coaches to do their book of wins, to keep like a diary of their wins. And I was like, how many people are keeping their book of wins? And like 3 people answer or raise their hand. I like wanted to slam my computer down and walk away. I was like, okay, I'm telling you exactly what to do to get to your goals. Exactly. Like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And you're deciding to do steps 1 and 4. Like, I don't understand. Because it's not hard work, you guys. It's not. It's just following direction. Like, you have coaches and leaders on your team that are literally giving you the blueprint of exactly what to do, and then you're not doing it. So you've got to dig deep and ask yourself, because that is the only thing I did. I will tell you that I invested a lot of time at that point. I actually walked away from my juice company, which was a huge risk. It wasn't a huge risk. It was a huge loss. I lost all the money we invested. I lost all the time I built that company. And that was a huge just sacrifice I made to do this, and a huge leap of faith. We didn't even tell my mom or my brother or anyone in our lives, because they would have looked at us like we were the stupidest people on the planet. Like, really? You're going to walk away from the company you built to be a Beachbody coach? Great idea. But I had belief, and I knew in my heart that this was the opportunity for everything that I wanted, for the financial freedom, for the work that I wanted to do in the world, for the platform that I knew was buried somewhere deep down inside. Like, I just knew it. And so I got on every team call I could get on. You know, I didn't just get on our team call. I got on my upline's team call and her upline's team call. And whenever I was driving in the car without kids, I was listening to stuff on YouTube. And I couldn't get enough of it. So I was just soaking it up on every level. I wanted to be teachable, and I wanted to learn. And all I did was learn from the best with YouTube videos and national wake-up calls, and implement and take action. And so you have to take the action. You know, I have coaches every day that come to me and they're like, but I'm scared. And I'm like, I get it. So was I. Like, the only way through fear and the only way to learn is to take action. You don't get good at talking to people about the products until you talk to people. You don't get good at posting on social media until you post on social media. You don't get good at handling objections until you handle objections. Like, you just have to do it. Don't get lost in the trainings. And that's something I really understood in the beginning. You know, I had a lot of conversations going because I was talking to a lot of people, just reaching out and going, you got to do this. I wasn't scripting and being salesy with people. It was just like these phone calls. And, you know, one of my top elite coach always says, your diamond is built by the people at your dinner table. You know, your mom, your sister-in-law, your bestie, your cousin, your best friend from high school. Like, you should be able to build your diamond with the people that sit down at your dinner table at night. And I just had this epiphany the other day. I was like, wait a second. My superstar was built from the people that I know. They're not random strangers on Instagram. Almost every single one of my diamonds, minus probably, and I probably have like maybe 20 some diamonds. I bet you 16 of them are people that I've just known at some point in my life. Not my best friends. My best friends judged me, and, you know, we're still working on that. But they were people I knew. And so don't, especially at this point in the business, Instagram's huge. You should be doing it. You know, you absolutely need to be doing Instagram, but don't lose sight of the fact that you could become a top 10 coach with your warm market, you know? And so the flip side, and what Holly kind of referenced in the beginning, I also looked at my numbers for last year when I got to number 5, and I onboarded an averaged it out every single month, divide by 12. Average was 10 coaches a month that I onboarded. Now, you guys, I can guarantee you 4 of them a month were people signing up for the discount. You know? So I onboarded maybe 5 people that wanted to work the business. The advantage of that, because everyone's always like, how do you develop leaders? And I'm like, oh, kind of epiphany. The advantage that I have is I have more time because I have less people, you know? So I can spend more time, and I spend a lot of time with my coaches, you know, on pod calls, on push calls, on whatever it is, text threads, you know, and I work with my girls. There is no magic solution. There's nothing that you're missing. I want you to really understand that. Like, we have this baller coach on our team in my downline. Oh, this is hilarious, Holly. It's yours. This is the question. So she texted me today and she goes, I hear that you have Holly Hillier's streak. And I was like, no. And she's like, everyone's told me that you have access to Holly Hillier's like funnel streak thing. And I was like, well, I know, like, I use her sister helps me. She's, you know, I use her sister as my assistant. But it was just so funny because what I realized was like, oh, this up and coming like baller coach who I totally admire, like her drive and her desire to like learn everything. But I'm like, me showing you exactly what Holly Hillier is doing isn't going to change anything in your business. And I think, and Holly and Ashley probably did this too. Like, the first couple years in your business, you're like, if I only had Melanie Mitro's Coach Basics, if I only had Lindsay's Matt Way's, you know, welcome email. Like, you guys, they're all the same. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, you got to spend time with your people. You got to talk to a lot of people. And this is, and I just say this because I love numbers and I love like ratios. And I think I've shared about this a lot, especially as a newer coach. I shared a lot about how I always told myself, like, I would get just racked with fear at the top of the month when I'd see that big fat 0. And I'd be like, oh my God, how am I going to do this again? You know, how am I going to do this? And I hate those feelings. I hate anxiety. I hate negativity. I hate fear. I don't like to feel that way. I want to be happy. So I remember, again, telling myself, I guess I do a lot of self-talk. Like, okay, what is the equation that is a guarantee that you will hit Success Club? And what I told myself as a new coach, I was like, if I invited 300 people a month, there's 100% chance I will hit Success Club. And that's lofty. I just needed the 100% for my own heart and brain. And I was like, okay, so stop freaking out about it. Just find 300 people to invite and you'll hit Success Club and you don't have to worry about this. And so I had to go out and find 300 people to invite. I did things like printed out my Facebook friends list, you know, and I found the people. And then there was always like a million no's. So the next month I had this huge follow-up list. So the 300 weren't really hard to find. But you have to invite a lot of people. You've got to talk to a lot of people. And that is the grind of this business. But as soon as somebody messages back, like, that's also the heart of this business and the excitement and the joy and the opportunity to change someone's life. And so when we were in Utah, I was out in Utah this fall for my team leader retreat. And I was thinking numbers, and I was talking to Doug Moss, one of the corporate guys. And I was like, okay, so I think I figured out the equation for elite. And he's like, okay, give it to me, Moira. And I was like, you have to onboard 100 coaches to be an elite coach. And he was like, he's like, yeah, I think that's absolutely spot on. And the reason I say that, because, and this is a lot of what I tell my coaches, that's a really scary, daunting thing to hear. But when you know that and you have the knowledge, you don't onboard 10 coaches expecting to be a 10-star and then fail and feel defeated and feel like crap about yourself. So you decide to walk away from the business, because that's what happens 95% of the time. You know, people are talking to 20 people and they don't understand that they need to send out 100 invites. I don't think it's actually 300. As a new coach, I think it's more like 100 invites and you'll hit Success Club. But instead they're talking to 20 or 25 and they don't hit Success Club. So they think they're not cut out for this. They can't do it. They can't do what you can do. And it's never going to work for them. And so they quit. When I'm like, oh my God, you can have the exact same success that we have if you only knew that you just had to send out this many invites. You know, my coaches that aren't hitting elite this year, that are falling short, I'm like, tell me how many coaches you onboarded this year. And if they're like 40, and I'm like, so remember when I told you have to onboard 100 to be an elite to get 5 diamonds? Because for every 20 coaches that I get that say, and there's a spectrum here, but for every 20 coaches that come to me and say, I think I want to do this, or challengers that say like, hey, I have a friend that wants to come on board. I think I want to sign up as a coach. Or somebody that comes to me and says, hey, I want to do what you're doing. I want to be a top coach. For every 20 of them, 1 will go diamond. And it's just so important to know, because the hardest part as mentors is seeing the broken hearts and the feelings of failure on your team when people fall short of their goals, but maybe they just didn't have the information. You know, I don't have a better closing ratio than anyone on this call. Holly doesn't either. Ashley doesn't either. When you see somebody hitting super high Success Club points, they've just talked to that many more people. And, you know, you've got to get that kind of momentum going in your business where you do get traction. Because I could probably hit Success Club every month by just sending up my follow-ups from people that I've talked to before. But I also know that I always need to start new conversations. So the wheel is there. I actually like to call it like a table with 4 legs. You have to invite, you have to follow up, you have to post on social media, and you've got to dial in your own journey. You know, and if you do those 4 things, like, it works. The wheel turns. If you've got a broken spoke, it's a flat tire. It won't work. You can't pour into 3 of the 4 and miss the 4th. And you guys, it's not hard work. Like, yes, we as top coaches work our butts off. And there are times where I just want to cry and like curl up in the corner with a blanket and like in the fetal position. That's how hard I can work. But that's when I have to check myself and go, wait a second. 3 years ago, you were a diamond coach. You're going to make over $500,000 this year, Moira. You're probably going to make $1 million next year. That's my goal. Is this really that hard? Or are you being a little bit of a wuss and maybe just need to hire some help? Because you're running a $500,000 business. Hire some help, you know? And so this is kind of what I will not end with, but one of the other reality checks that I had was when I came into this, and I think because I'd worked for myself my whole life, so I understood that like when I opened up my Pilates studio, I went to work and worked 40, 50, 60 hours a week, like whatever I needed to do to like get my Pilates studio off the ground. Same thing with my juice company. Nobody was paying me a dime. So I worked my butt off for free. So when I came into this and I was like, whoa, I just got a paycheck. Like somebody just paid me the first week I did anything. What is going on? when I got my first 10-star bonus and I woke up just last January, maybe the January, I can't remember what January before that. No, it was just this January. That's crazy. Just this past January was the first time I hit the 10-star bonus. And I opened up my back office on a Thursday and there was a $17,000 bonus there. And I just texted Carl Deichler and I was like, I don't even know what to, like, this feels really wrong. I'm not quite sure why you just deposited $17,000 in my bank account. This feels like, I just said, of course, I didn't say all that. I just said, thank you. Because I've never, ever been rewarded. But you can't show up to this job like you're making $300 a week if you're making $300 a week. You know what I mean? Like, you have to show up for where you're going. So if you want to be a 6-figure earner, that's how you show up every single day. You show up every single day as if someone just said, you're hired, we're going to pay you $100,000 a year. Would you show up like a freaking boss the next day? Would you know what you're going to do when you open up your computer? Would you have a game plan? Would you have a schedule? Would you have a marketing plan? Would you work your ass off because you're getting paid $100,000? You have to work where you're going, not where you are. So those days I want to cry and not get on 2 team calls back to back after you don't even know what my days look like. It's been the most insane mommy work hustle ever. I'm like, suck it up. Like, I want to make $1 million. Is it really that hard to like curl up in my workout clothes with a blanket with my friends and like chat? You know, like, it's not that hard. I'm not cleaning toilets. I'm not doing all the hard things. This business, you guys, my husband owns his own business. I've owned 2 businesses. The opportunity that I had I was making $0, or I was probably making like $500 a month 3 years ago. And now I'm going to make over $500,000 a year. Like, this opportunity is the opportunity of a lifetime. It's the biggest opportunity you'll ever get. And it doesn't play favorites at all. Every single person on this call has the opportunity to make and create the life that they want. And what I think you got to get really clear on is the vision of what you want to create. And, you know, that's a whole nother call because I am all about vision. But I also think, and I will end with this, don't get caught up in this perfect vision because, and I do like to share this story. So one of my upline coaches led a coach training when I was a brand new coach. And she's like, you got to find your why. So my husband's overseas in the military and he's not seeing our daughter being raised and his life is at risk every day of his life. And I want to retire him. So I am working my ass off to bring him home. And I was like, okay, that's big. So I understood why the why was so important. Like, that story made me really understand why you have to have that vision and that dream. And I sat down and wrote my vision. And I wanted a pool. I wanted to go on more vacations. I wanted to have more freedom. I wanted a house at the beach. Like, it just didn't have the legs that her vision had. But guess what? It worked for me. My vision is my vision. I wanted to give back to the community in big ways. I wanted to, I wanted to change people's lives. I wanted to build a tribe of women. Like, my vision included like 25 things. And it fires me up every single day. And I read it every single morning. So don't overcomplicate your vision, because I've preached and led 1 million trainings on vision. And at my Diamond Retreat last January, I did a vision training, surprise, surprise. And I read my vision to my team. And you know what their response was? Wait a second, that's it? Are you serious? And I was like, what did you expect? They're like, we thought it was going to be this poetic. I'm like, no, it's like bullet points on a scrap sheet of paper that's stuck in my planner that I take out and read every day. Like, this isn't about perfection. It's about doing the work. Doesn't matter if it's messy or pretty. You've got to have that vision, though, because there are so many days that I wake up and I want to watch reality TV. I haven't watched reality TV in 3 years. And I do like to joke that while you were watching The Housewives, I built $1 million business, you know? So, I mean, that's the reality. Like I literally have built my soon to be $1 million business in the amount of time that I used to watch The Real Housewives. So there are so many days when I wake up and don't want to do the work, but I read that vision. So it is literally front and center every single day. And when the kids scoot out the door and I'm like, oh, I don't feel like inviting, I don't want to do a power hour, I know what's at stake. It's my dreams for me and my family and their women in the world and the women on my team. And I show up and I do the work. So I'm going to wrap with that.
Amazing. I mean, people are like, yeah, freaking out in the comments. You're amazing. It's true. I mean, there's no magic bullet in this business, and that's what we're looking for. Anne said, what are your 4 legs again?
So inviting, following up, posting on social media, and your own journey. And your own journey is the most important one, for sure. If you are struggling in your business, you are struggling in your personal life, 100%. It's a guarantee. If you are like super stoked about your body and how it feels and you're excited about doing your workouts and your nutrition plan is dialed in, your business is taking off. Yep. And I get lost in this personally all the time. I'm like, oh my God, why is my business like dipping? And why is it so hard to hit success club these last couple of months? And I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm like binging on sugar every weekend and I feel like crap, you know? I mean, seriously, or I'm not reading my personal development, or like it is a direct reflection. And how cool is it that we're in a business where we're like, I need to like take my business to the next level. And it's like, okay, I'll just go work on myself. And that's like the magic answer.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Yeah. And the personal development piece. I mean, guys, it's so easy not to do, but you are never going to get past where you are now if you are not doing personal development every single day. So, all right. I know you have another call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Have a wonderful night, Moira. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.